Hey there! Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Today, we're diving into a topic that, well, usually starts a full-blown war at the dinner table.
That's for sure. We're talking about the true value of a university degree in 2026.
So let's be real. Is it a golden ticket or just an incredibly expensive piece of paper?
Let's start with the basics. Why do people still flock to campuses every year?
Honestly, most go because they were told they had no other choice. It's just social pressure.
Oh, come on, I disagree. People go because it provides a foundation, a structure that you simply cannot find anywhere else.
But Alex, look around. The world has changed so much since our parents were young.
I know it has, but let's face it, the prestige of a solid institution still carries a lot of weight in the real world.
Oh, sure, but does prestige pay the bills when you're staring at $50,000 in student debt?
Look, it's an investment in yourself, Jordan, not just a random cost.
An investment should have a clear, guaranteed return, shouldn't it?
Well, no investment is ever truly guaranteed, but the data, the actual statistics, still favor graduates.
Data can be misleading if you don't look at the individual stories of people struggling.
True, I'll give you that. But let's look at the big picture of how professionals actually develop.
Fair enough. I'm ready. Let's see if you can actually convince me this time.
Just think about the critical thinking skills you develop in a rigorous 4-year program.
I don't know, Alex. I can learn critical thinking by reading philosophy at the library for free.
Well, reading is one thing, but being challenged face-to-face by a professor is a whole different ballgame.
Except professors are often, completely out of touch with how the industry works today.
Wow, that's a pretty bold generalization, don't you think?
Maybe, but look at how fast tech moves. A university syllabus is outdated before it's even printed.
Pattern principles don't change as fast as software updates, Jordan.
Well, I'd rather master the software that actually gets me hired today.
And I'd rather have the deep theory that helps me understand the software of tomorrow.
Man, you really sound like someone who loves his old textbooks.
And you sound like someone who's just looking for a quick shortcut to success.
Efficiency isn't a shortcut, Alex. It's a survival strategy.
Anyway, let's move on to our first big point, the academic environment itself.
Fine, let's talk about that ivory tower of yours.
It's not a tower, it's a community of curious scholars.
Right, a community that costs a small fortune just to join the club.
Look, everything truly valuable in this life has a price tag.
But is the price tag actually fair?
Well, that is exactly what we're going to find out today.
Now, let's talk about networking, which honestly is arguably the biggest benefit.
Here we go. The old, it's not what you know, it's who you know argument.
Exactly, because your classmates, they are the future leaders of your entire industry.
I can meet those same people at tech conferences or just by being active on LinkedIn.
But you don't struggle through a 3 a.m. study session with someone you just met on LinkedIn.
Okay, that's true. But again, is that 3 a.m. struggle really worth the massive tuition?
Those bonds, Jordan, they're forged in high-pressure environments. They last forever.
Personally, I'd rather forge bonds in a real workplace where we're actually getting paid to solve problems.
But many top companies, the big ones, recruit directly from these universities.
Actually, only the Big Four and a few others still do that heavily.
Still, having that alumni network, it's like having a secret key to every door.
A very, very expensive key that you might, just might, never actually use.
Well, I've used mine dozens of times just to get my foot in the door.
And I used my portfolio to blow the door right off its hinges. No key needed.
Okay, that is a very aggressive metaphor, even for you.
You have to be aggressive in this economy, Alex. There's no room for passive waiting.
I get that, but isn't there something to be said for the university experience as a whole?
You mean the constant parties and the messy dorm life?
No. The maturity you gain by finally living away from home and managing your own life.
Well, you can gain that same maturity, and faster, by getting a job and paying your own rent.
True, but university provides a safe space to fail before the stakes get too high in the real world.
Let's be honest, the real world doesn't care one bit about your safe space.
That's exactly why you need one while you're young. You need room to grow.
I still think the best way to learn how to swim is to be thrown into the deep end immediately.
Well, not everyone knows how to tread water right away. Some people just drown.
Then they should learn quickly, or they're going to sink eventually anyway, right?
That is such a harsh worldview, Jordan. It's almost cynical.
It's not cynical, it's just being realistic, because the job market is absolutely brutal right now.
A degree acts as a shield against that brutality. It gives you a baseline of respect.
A shield? You mean a shield made of, what, expensive paper?
No, a shield made of credibility and long-standing institutional trust.
Look, trust is earned through consistent results, Alex, not through fancy diplomas.
Maybe, but diplomas are a clear signal of your potential to deliver those results.
Signals can be faked easily. Real-world skills, not so much.
Well, let's see how those skills hold up when we talk about professional certification.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Student debt.
I just knew you were going to bring this up.
Well, how can you possibly ignore it? It's a crisis.
It's a burden, I admit, but it's manageable if you actually choose the right major.
Manageable? That's a funny word for something that takes 20 years to pay off.
Honestly, many people pay it off much faster than that if they're smart with their money.
And many others, they never pay it off at all. They just carry it to the grave.
That's usually due to a lack of financial planning or choosing an impractical field of study.
Or maybe it's because entry-level salaries haven't kept up with skyrocketing tuition.
I agree that tuition is way too high, but I still think the alternative is far worse.
What's worse than being 22 years old and $40,000 in the hole?
Being 22 with zero specialized skills and no way to compete for high-paying roles.
But you can learn high-paying skills for like $20 on Udemy or YouTube.
Really? Will a major investment bank hire a lead architect who only has a Udemy certificate?
For coding or design? Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it happen.
Maybe for a junior level role, but definitely not for a leadership position.
Leaders are made through actual experience on the ground, not by getting a master's degree.
A master's degree gives you the theoretical framework to lead effectively, not just by instinct.
In my experience, it just gives you a lot of fancy jargon and overly complex theories.
Hey, jargon is just a professional language of the field. It's how we communicate precisely.
Personally, I prefer the language of, actually getting things done.
You're being very dismissive of academic rigor today, aren't you?
Because I see the soul-crushing stress it puts on my friends every single day.
Stress is part of the growth process. You can't have diamonds without pressure.
Not when that pressure leads to a mental health crisis before you even start your life.
Okay, that is a very valid point. I admit the pressure can be overwhelming.
Exactly. So why would you put yourself through that if there's another way?
Because the rewards at the end of the tunnel, I truly believe they are worth the struggle.
Are they? Let's look at the millions of underemployed graduates working in retail.
Those are often the people who didn't take their studies or networking seriously.
Or they are people who studied something that the market simply doesn't need anymore.
That's why we need much better career counseling in schools, clearly.
Or, crazy thought, maybe we need to stop telling every kid they must go to college.
You know what? I can actually agree with that. It's definitely not for everyone.
Finally, a moment of consensus. I should mark this on my calendar.
Now, let's talk about the shelf life of knowledge in this digital age.
You mean how quickly information stays relevant before becoming obsolete?
Exactly. In the tech world, a 4-year degree feels like a literal eternity.
But university doesn't just teach facts. It teaches you the fundamental logic behind the tech.
Tech changes every single year, Jordan, but logic stays with you for life.
If you spend 4 years just learning logic, you're already 4 years behind on the actual tools.
Come on, I think you're really exaggerating the gap here.
I'm not. I know people who learned AI in 3 months and got hired at 6 figures.
But will they still have those jobs in 2 years when the entire AI landscape shifts again?
Yes, because they are already used to learning on the fly and adapting daily.
Fair. University graduates are specifically trained to be lifelong learners too, you know.
No, they are trained to follow a syllabus and wait for instructions. A syllabus is just a roadmap, a guide to achieving true mastery.
Most degrees are just too slow for the speed of the 2026 digital economy.
Well, slow and steady wins the race, or so the old saying goes.
Not in a race where the actual track is moving under your feet.
Okay. You really love your metaphors today, don't you?
I'm just trying to make the point as clear as possible.
My point is that deep, meaningful knowledge requires time and reflection.
And my point is that time is the most precious resource we have.
So you honestly think university is just a massive waste of time for everyone?
For maybe 70% of people? Yeah, I honestly do.
Wow, 70%? That is an incredibly high number, Jordan.
Think about it. How many people end up in jobs completely unrelated to their degree?
Even so, that degree likely helped them get that unrelated job in the first place.
Only because employers use degrees as a lazy filter to narrow down the pile.
Well, if the filter exists, you have to find a way to pass through it, right?
Or we could just work together to change the way the filter works.
Good luck changing the entire corporate world all by yourself, my friend.
It's already changing. Look at the new hiring policies at Google or Apple.
They still hire plenty of Ivy League grads, let's not kid ourselves.
But they no longer require a degree for a lot of their technical roles.
That's just a small shift in one industry. It's hardly a revolution.
Every major revolution in history starts with one small shift, doesn't it?
Okay, let's look at the dark side of your favorite path, being self-taught.
Oh boy, here we go. What's the dark side?
Serious. Most people simply lack the self-discipline to actually finish what they start.
That's true for many, sure, but the real winners are always self-starters.
Without a teacher, how do you even know what you don't know?
You find out real quick when you try to build something and it breaks in your face.
That sounds like an incredibly frustrating and inefficient way to learn.
It's actually the most effective way because you never ever forget that lesson.
But you might develop terrible habits that a professor would have corrected early on.
Honestly, I'd rather have a few bad habits and a working product than perfect habits and nothing to show for it.
That is such short-term thinking, Jordan. It'll bite you later.
No, it's what we call agile thinking in the real world.
In fields like engineering or medicine, agile thinking can literally kill people.
Hey, we already agreed that medicine and law are totally different cases.
But the core principle of quality applies to almost every professional field.
Like what? Marketing? Graphic design? Social media management?
Yes, even in design, understanding history and color theory actually matters.
Clients don't pay for your knowledge of history, they pay for results that sell.
And results are always better when they are informed by a deep understanding of the craft.
You're just very nostalgic for the traditional way of doing things, Alex.
I'm not nostalgic. I'm just being realistic about maintaining high standards of quality.
Quality comes from thousands of hours of practice, not from sitting in a lecture hall.
Balanced, lectures provide the necessary context for that practice to be meaningful.
And the internet provides the world's biggest, most diverse classroom for free.
Riley, a classroom with no rules, no teacher, and a whole lot of distracting noise.
Well, you just have to be good at filtering out the noise. It's a skill.
Unfortunately, most 19-year-olds simply aren't that good at it yet.
And maybe that's the very first skill they should be forced to learn.
And that is exactly what university teaches you how to do.
Okay. We are officially going in circles now, Alex.
Because these two paths are so deeply linked whether we like it or not.
They really are just two different philosophies of how to live your life.
Stability versus speed. It's the age-old debate.
Tradition versus innovation. The old world versus the new.
Exactly. And maybe there isn't a right answer here.
Wow, we have certainly covered a lot of ground in this session.
We certainly have. My brain feels a little fried, to be honest.
from the historic halls of academia to the wild west of the internet.
So, after all that, what's your final verdict, Alex?
I think university is still the best path for most people who want a long-term, stable career.
And I still think it's a trap for those who want to innovate and move at light speed.
You know, maybe the real answer is somewhere right in the middle.
Like a hybrid approach to education.
Exactly. Go to school for the foundation, but never ever stop teaching yourself.
You know what? I can actually live with that conclusion.
It's all about balance, Jordan, just like everything else in this life.
Don't let your schooling interfere with your education.
Wait, was that a Mark Twain quote?
It was. See, I learned something without a degree.
Well played, Jordan. Even Twain knew the difference.
Thank you for the debate today. It was actually really eye-opening for me.
Likewise, you definitely kept me on my toes and made me rethink things.
To our listeners out there, what do you think about all this?
Did your degree actually help you, or do you honestly regret the debt?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments or on our social pages.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive into a modern dilemma.
Until then, keep learning, and most importantly, keep questioning everything.
This has been another episode of The Modern Dilemma.
Goodbye, everyone. Talk to you soon.
See you next time. Stay curious.